I've got to show you a nice little chart. You know what they say, the numbers don't lie, right? Hardcore numbers, facts, they don't lie. Of course, the government gives you fake numbers like they do with the birth death model of unemployment nonsense. Yeah, those numbers do lie because they're not real numbers from the get-go. They're fake numbers from the get-go. So here's some interesting data. This is black and white. May food stamps recipients by state. I guess it's a month-to-month percent change. See how good that looks. Notice anything, this general area? It goes all the way skyrocketing up. Yeah, that's the state of Alabama. The state of Alabama has just skyrocketed, and according to this article, now there is around more than 1 out of 3, just slightly more than 1 out of 3 people are now on food stamps. 36% in Alabama are on food stamps. Here's another chart you might like to see. Right? U.S. food stamp participation. Let's see. Oh, 2007. There we go. Look at that. It's around 25 million, 26 million. And then we have, where are we at now? 46 million and climbing. Right? It was just 43 million, 44 million, 46 million and climbing. And I don't know exactly how up to date 2011 is. This may have been months ago, I'm not sure. But the entire country is going on food stamps. So is it any surprise that when the House of Representatives, which was being filmed, videoed live from on C-SPAN, you could watch it live, while they were doing the little roll call and they were getting ready to vote, which we already know it's past tense now, they already voted yes, but while that was taking place, a nice little interesting thing I was noticing as I watched C-SPAN live just to see what kind of people were calling in, because you know how they allow callers to call in. And while they were doing the roll call to get some of the members there to come in and vote, they said, oh, we'll take some calls. And in between whatever, they would take some calls also. And I'm going to tell you that at least 9 out of 10, you can't get any better than that really, 9 out of 10 people that called in, whether it was a Republican line, the Democrat line, or the independent line, they have those 3 phone numbers. We're going to see where all parties stand. Oh, I hope they pass this. I hope they pass this. I'm on disability, and if they don't pass this, I may not get a check. Thank you for the call. Oh, we have a Republican. Yes, sir. Well, I'm a war vet, and I'm on disability, and I also get my Social Security check as part of that, and man, I hope they pass this, boy. I don't know what I'll do if I don't get a check next few weeks. Thank you. Let's try one of the independent lines. Yeah, independent line, you're on. Go ahead. Oh, I'm already retired. I rely solely right now on Social Security. I don't know what I'd do if I just didn't get another check from Social Security right now. I just wouldn't be able to, it would be devastating to me. All right, thank you, caller. Oh, okay, they're gonna vote now. So they don't take any more calls. And there was a lot more calls that came in. And I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 calls. 9 out of 10 calls from the time I turned this thing on. I was watching it for a little while, good little while. That's all I heard. Everybody was a sucker off the system. Now, granted, before I label everybody a sucker, a pure retiree who no longer works, put in their God knows how many years of work, 40, 50 years of working, 60 years of working, I don't know their story. They've been pitching in to Social Security their entire lives. So for God's sakes, yeah, some of those people should definitely call in and say, hey, please pass this so that I can get my Social Security check. Only because they heard the president say, I can't guarantee you Social Security checks won't make it, or will make it if this doesn't get passed. He just terrorized you, the true definition of a terrorist, and it worked. And rather than have these people call up and say, I can't believe the president threatened that, because they could stop making other payments, they could stop handing out money to all these countries across the world, free handouts every month to Israel, billions of dollars, other countries, billions of dollars, the IMF, billions of dollars, a lot of it free of charge. You could have reined that much money in immediately and started cutting spending. No, we're not going to talk about that. They're going to call in, and remember, the only thing that they know, the only thing that their brain is focused on, I am not going to get money like I normally do every week or every month in this case. And if I don't get that money, I'm already retired, or I'm disabled and can't work, or whatever the story is. I have to get money or I don't live. Oh my God, freaking out, freaking out. The president said that he can't guarantee checks. By God, I'm going to call in, and whatever he says he needs to get those checks out, that's what I want to vote for. Therefore, we need to get this debt ceiling passed, because that's what he said needs to happen so I can continue getting my check. So all these people, the point of this is that all these people are dependent on the system, and even though they spent 30, 40, 50, 60 years putting in money as a little nest egg into that system, which they called Social Security, and was promised and guaranteed you'll get this when you retire, now isn't so sure. But you are stuck relying on the government now. So if you're stuck relying on the government, and then the government decides to terrorize you and create a super Congress, 12 or 13 members, whatever it is, 12 members, that are now going to oversee these kind of economic decisions and raise the debt ceiling and pick cutting and this and that, it now is in the hands of 6 Republicans and 6 Democrats. You now have what they call the super Congress. You are witnessing the destruction of democracy at the same time, just like the Roman Empire. Again, same thing as Roman Empire. And you are going to see the same thing that happened in Germany, where they try to go for dictatorship type of system. They're already removing Congress now. Now there's 6 guys, or 12 guys. But it's fair. Settle down. It's fair. There's 6 Democrats and 6 Republicans. Oh, really? Well, what about independents? I guess they don't count? Not that it even matters. There's only 12 people anyways. So what's going to happen next? Oh, super Congress to be succeeded by super duper Congress, which is 1 Democrat and 1 Republican, and then the president. And then that'll be superseded by, oh, something big happened, some kind of martial law, or presidential directive 51 kicks in because some big emergency happened, and the definition of emergency is pretty broad, so they just turn it on, and okay, complete control by the president. And then you have what basically Hitler did. And keep in mind, Hitler was smart enough to make sure that all laws were passed. It was completely legal what he did, which is why no one really stood up and tried to fight against it. And no one's going to do the same thing here either. It'll be another looking back at Nazi Germany. They'll be looking back at the black shadow government, whatever, days of America, and looking back at that, whoa, boy, what a terrible time. How could these people not see this? How could those people sit there and live through those things and still put up with it, and they'll look at you like you're some kind of just dumb. I mean, the people nowadays, they'll look like it back at in the future, look back at like just idiots, complete stupid bozos, sheep. How could that happen? That would never happen to me. You know, that's what everyone said. Oh, it never happened during my time. And then it's happening right in front of you. You're actually living it, and have the audacity to say, no, it's not. Nah, that's just one thing. No, okay, that's not right, but that's just one thing. Come on. Okay, yeah, now that's just 2 things. All right, it's only a couple. Okay, it's 3 things, 4 things, 5 things, 10 things, 20 things. Oh, now we're in the point of history, looking back. Oh yeah, I guess I did. You know, go way back there and took away all of our freedoms. So, anyways, this is just such nonsense, man. Again, everyone that called in was relying on the system. I need this check to come through, so I'm going to vote anything. And that vote could have been, we need to give the president complete power over their entire country. We're going to completely remove Congress and completely remove the Supreme Court, so that checks could go out for Social Security, and you would hear the phone lines blow up like they did. Go ahead and allow them. Give them the superpower. Get rid of Congress. I need that check. And whatever it takes to get that check, because I put 30, 40, 50, 60 years of my time in, I'm going to get that check. It's my money. I put it in the system, and I better get it. And if he needs dictatorship powers, then give it to him so I can get my check. Is that really the right way to think? Why don't you I'm not even gonna say that. You're going about it the wrong way. You're giving in to the terrorist demands. And as George Bush said, you're either with the terrorists or you're with us. Well, it appears that the terrorists weren't really the terrorists. It appears that the people in charge right now seem to be the terrorists if you look at the way they're doing things. So you could either be with the terrorist or be with a free person off the system, if you can. And I know, because right now it's kind of too late to get off that system, but I'll tell you what, one person who's in a hurry to get off that system, that's me. And I am desperately trying to get out to near Pastor Dowell's area, Tennessee, 10 miles away, 20 miles away, I don't care, just somewhere in the general vicinity. Had an interesting conversation with the owner of my company today, and was telling me he would love to have like 10 or 20 acres of land in Tennessee again. And you know, nothing like he had before. He had like 200 acres before and nothing like that. But you know, it's funny that he just mentioned that, because I was like, hey, I've been looking lately too, you know, something like that I could go in on with him, you know, pitch in and have a little piece of my property. But I'm still not ready to go yet. You know, if I could, I'd be there yesterday. But you know, things have to fall in place, and you know, a few things have to get aligned, that sort of thing. But I mean, we're at the end of the line of this system. There's not much time to get off the system. We're all fixing to be dependent on this damn system if you don't take matters in our own hands and get off that system and go move out to the freaking country or something. You know, I don't even know, just whatever. So anyways, I mean, 36% food stamps, Alabama. Oh boy, Alabama. I look at that chart right now, U.S. food stamp participation. You want to know what else goes up like this? And it's actually doing the opposite, actually does the opposite of this? The U.S. dollar. Flip this chart like this, and that's the U.S. dollar. Roughly the same time period. Maybe a little further back too. Guess what else looks like this on this chart, which is strange? Gold and silver. Yeah. One of those things that can get you off this system if you have enough of it. And if I had a credit card, well, I do, but I don't need to do this. If I was somebody else who didn't have silver, but had access to a nice little hefty credit card, I would absolutely max that sucker out in a heartbeat, buy the physical silver. And if you lose your job later, or you get into financial troubles later, you can be a candidate for bankruptcy under those circumstances, and then you can bankrupt out of the credit card and still have your pile of silver that no one knows about. If you don't, great, make payments on the credit card and pay it off slowly. Or you might find the explosion again that's going to happen in silver. You can sell half your silver and pay off the entire card, you know, in the very near future, by the way. It's your choice. If you don't have silver, you need to get some and find a way to do it. If it's just impossible, you just can't come up with any extra cash or whatever, keep paying attention to these videos and other videos, and again, you'll be that guy or that girl in your neighborhood when crap gets terrible and people are looking for some kind of leadership, or what do we do, what should we do, this and that. You can step in with some kind of knowledge, at least, and help out in that manner. You know, there's no telling what's going to happen, you know, specifically, how it's really all going to go down, exactly what's in my mind or what's in someone else's mind. You know, none of us can say for sure. It's pretty obvious when you look at history. This is the Roman Empire, it is collapsing, and what happened during the Roman Empire collapse? It was pretty brutal on everybody in that society. So, it's going to be pretty brutal on everybody in our localized society in America, along with half of the world who has been dependent on the US dollar for many, many, many years now, because when our dollar crashes, their society gets thrown upside down too. So this is going to be like a Roman Empire 3.0 collapse, versus just a single entity like the single American collapse or single Roman Empire collapse. It's gonna be half the world with us, which is not gonna be good. But again, it has to happen in order for this crap to get out of the system, flushed away, out with the old ways, out with the old paradigm, and in with the new system, paradigm, life, whatever, which will throw all that crap out, and we will not be slaves like we used to be. This is gonna take some time, of course. But damn it, I'm going to start now by getting off the system ASAP, getting my little chunk of land near Pastor Dowell, pitching into his community. I'll be over there on the weekends, helping out, building up houses for free, of course, just pitching in, doing the right thing. You got to do something like that. You got to, like he said in his video today, don't be a thinker or a seer or listener, but be a doer. Be a doer. You have to do it. Don't stand there, yeah, I got to do that, yeah, I got to do that, that sounds good. And then you go back and turn on TV and just sit on your butt and do nothing. You got to try to make something happen, one way or the other. And if you just can't make these types of things happen, then start stocking up on food. You go to the grocery store, oh, buy one, get one free day. Buy 2 of those for that day. Even though you normally would have came and bought 1, buy 2 of those things, and now you just got 4 of them, 2 for free. Better yet, if you can afford it, buy 3. I just bought these huge drinks or whatever. Buy one, get one free. I bought 2 of them. Now I've got 4. They've been in there. I've got a month's worth of drinks now. You can do stuff. They have those deals all the time at the supermarket. You can do it. There's ways of doing this. You know, all of us aren't going to have the pretty rose perfect scenario. Yeah, I sold everything I own. I got a big, nice little piece of property, and I've got my goats and my chickens, and I'm living life beautifully out in the country. That's not going to happen to everybody. Matter of fact, that's not going to happen to hardly anybody. Because we all, for the most part, live paycheck to paycheck depending on what your lifestyle is. If you're poor, you live paycheck to paycheck in a poor neighborhood, driving a poor car, living in a poor house. If you're middle class, you live pretty much paycheck to paycheck, living in a nicer house, nicer car, nicer paycheck, but still somewhat paycheck to paycheck because all your bills just increased. If you're rich, well, then there's the gap because you can afford everything you want to afford, the nicest of things, and still have money left over, which is why there's always that gap between the real rich and then the rest of us. So that's all I gotta say for now. Have a nice day or night and take care.